Recorded Books and RB Digital present The Spell Sword by Marion Zimmer Bradley, narrated by Max Bellmore. Chapter 1. He had followed a dream, and it had brought him here to die. Half-conscious, he lay on the rocks and thin moss of the mountain crevasse, and in his dazed state it seemed to him that the girl he had seen in that earlier dream stood before him. "You ought to be laughing," Andrew Carr said to her imagined face. "If it weren't for you, I'd be halfway across the galaxy by now. Not lying here half dead on a frozen lump of dust at the edge of nowhere." But she was not laughing. It seemed that she was standing at the very edge of the lip of rock, the bitter mountain wind blowing her thin blue draperies about her slender body, her hair bright red and gleaming, long about her delicate features, just as he had seen her before, in the dream. But she was not laughing. Her delicate face looked pale and stern. And it seemed that she spoke, although the dying man knew that her voice could not be anything but the echo of the wind in his fevered brain. "Stranger, stranger, I did not mean you harm. It was none of my calling or my doing that brought you to this pass. True, I called you, or rather I called to anyone who could hear me, and it was you. But those above us both know that I meant you no ill. The winds, the storms, these are not under my command. I will do what I may to save you, but I have no power in these mountains." It seemed to Andrew Carr that he flung angry words back at her. "I'm mad," he thought, "or maybe already dead, lying here exchanging insults with a ghost girl. You say you called me? But what of the others in my ship? You called them too, perhaps? And brought them here to die in the crosswinds of the Hellers? Does death by wholesale give you any pleasure, you ghoul girl?" "That isn't fair." Her imagined words were like a cry of anguish, and her ghost face on the wind twisted as if she were about to weep. "I did not call them. They came in the path where their work and their destiny led. Only you had the choice to come or not to come because of my call. You chose to come and to share whatever fate their destiny held for them. I will save you if I can. For them, their time is ended, and their destiny was never at my disposal. You I can save if you will hear me, but you must rouse yourself, rouse yourself." It was like a wild cry of despair. "You will die if you lie here longer. Rouse yourself and take shelter, for the winds and the storms are not mine to command." Andrew Carr opened his eyes and blinked. As he had known all along, he was alone, lying battered on the mountain ledges in the wreckage of the mapping plane. The girl, if she had ever been there at all, was gone. "Rouse yourself and take shelter, for the winds and the storms are not mine to command." That was, of course, a damn good idea if he could manage it. Shelter. Where he lay under a fragment of the smashed cabin of the mapping plane was no place to meet the bitter night of this strange planet. He'd been warned about the weather here when he first came to Cotman 4. Only a lunatic would stay out in the nights during the storm season. He fought again with a last desperate effort to free the ankle which was caught, like the leg of a trapped animal, in twisted metal. This time he felt the metal crumple and give a little, and although the ripping pain grew greater, tearing skin and flesh, he wrenched grimly at the caught foot in the darkness. Now he could move enough to bend over and move the leg with his hands. Torn clothing and torn flesh were slippery with blood, which was already beginning to stiffen in the icy cold. When he touched the jagged metal, his bare hands burned like fire. But now he could guide the wounded leg upward, avoiding the worst jagged edges of metal. Now, with a gasp of mingled agony and relief, his foot was free, blood-covered, boot and clothing torn, cut to the bone, but free. He was trapped no longer. He struggled to his feet, to be beaten again to his knees by a gust of the icy, sleet-laden wind that whipped around a corner of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?